Today we have something amazing for you. It's all about art. Now, if you are someone that is interested about art, I want to know more how the business of being an artist, not the person that sings, no, but the one that is in the work of craft, drawing, painting, and you're interested, you want to know more, you want to see what are the different possibilities and opportunities that exist in that niche. Stay tuned because today we have an amazing youth in the house and he is here to share with us his roadmap, how he did it from nobody to becoming an artist, and most importantly, how he's making a living out of his work of art. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with him. All right, welcome back. As we said, we are here today with Dior Artz.
Yes, sir.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
How you doing, sir?
Oh, good.
All right, all right. Okay, so Joe Arts is here to share his roadmap, most importantly, because we want to know how did you do it? Get a point? From a normal youth to becoming an artist. How? What is the process? And most importantly, are you making a living? Can others also implement it and make it out there? Because we know we're in a scope where the rate of unemployment is increasing alarmingly.
It's very true.
So we want to get out of it, and we have come to realize that entrepreneurship is one of the ways that we easily get us out of that unemployment. But coming back to the other origin, please, who are you?
Who am I? I am Dior Moscow. That's my birth name. That's my birth name. Yes.
Dio Moscow,
Yes.
like the Moscow in Russia.
Yes.
Okay.
So my name is Dior Moscow, and I am of Northwest origin, specifically Cambe, but
Okay.
I've resided most of my life in Boya.
Okay.
So I actually started off with school, pursued it, but from my tender ages, I always had this fascination over the cartoons we usually watch as kids.
Yes, yes.
So
Even to now, I watch cartoons. Man, you will not tell, I'm not a kid now. Yeah.
exactly. So it fascinated me, but I was not just into enjoying the value I'm getting,
Yeah.
but also knowing how that value comes about.
Okay.
And that's where I started being like, okay, I want to actually know how these guys did it. Picked up a pencil. My mother was a teacher at the time too, so
Okay.
she would always draw her charts for her kids, and
Yes,
then I
yes.
would also like, okay, since I've tried the ones on the TV and it's too hard, let me try the
Let's go back to the
oranges,
origin.
oranges,
Yes.
mangoes, the simple things she always draw. I'll always try that. Keep on attempting. At some
Over.
point, they say consistency is key.
Definitely.
So when I kept on attempting, it started getting better. I was like, hey, I'm actually producing something here. And
Yeah.
little by little, I started going more advanced, taking on more difficult challenges. And that's how
The whole
passion
thing
started. Yes.
started.
Yes.
Okay. Now, before we dive into breaking down, please tell us exactly what is your line of business. What part of art do you actually do so that we can better understand?
There are many forms of art. There is painting, photography, even movie, videography,
Yes.
or some people call it cinematography.
Yes.
There is now in painting they call there's plastic art, which is painting, which painting falls under.
Plastic art.
Yes, plastic art. Then there is fine art. That is the one which I categorize.
Which one is plastic art?
Plastic art now is the type of art where you use wet medium.
Okay.
Yes, wet medium like paint.
Yes, they
Like
use
oil
paint.
paint,
Yeah.
acrylic, and there's
Yes.
different forms of things that are called paint. So
Yes.
those things which you use, which are wet medium, you have to apply and give it some time to dry off.
Yes.
That is plastic art. They call
Plastic
it
art.
plastic because when it gets dry, like when you melt a plastic cup, it's watery.
Watery.
It's almost, let's just use the term watery, but it's
Okay.
like liquid.
Okay, it's for there that the name
Yes, then
comes
now when
from.
it gets
So-
dry, it becomes hard. It becomes plastic. Like it's kind of
and it has a
breakable.
structure which
Exactly.
look like art.
Exactly. So it's called plastic art. Then now there's fine art, which now is the part where you use fine media which does not really take time to dry. You just put the pencil on the paper and it's already there. That you will not have to say no. Let's wait for it to really for the
Yeah,
paper
yeah.
to
As you
absorb it.
draw,
It
it's
has
already
absorbed.
there.
Charcoal. You could even use let's say dust. It's still if there are probably dust artists out there. Just
Yes.
the dust it's on its own. It's when used as dead as dry as it is. It's fine art.
Wow.
Yes. So I am a fine artist, but I specialize in pencils and pens. Then occasionally I do collage.
Which one is collage?
Collage now is collage is the let's call it art or it could still be science. The art of gluing things onto your a piece of art
Okay.
to give a certain feel to it or texture or whatever.
Yes,
Like
yes.
occasionally you can go to a museum or an art exhibition and see an exhibited piece where probably the artist glued something like a piece of cloth
Yes.
or maybe sand. I'm sure you've seen those kind of, or maybe somebody
Yes.
even took broomsticks and
Yes,
actually
yes.
glued it on the piece of work just to bring out that idea that he
Yes, yes,
really
yes.
had.
So
Yes,
that's the message that she's trying to
exactly.
pass there. Wow, wow. So it means you hold the pen and the pencil. It means you draw.
Yes,
A
you
brother, you
draw.
can draw.
Thank
So, so it means you can just look at somewhere there and draw the person.
you. Yes.
Wow, wow, amazing, man. Now, were you born a drawer? Like, can you say it's something that you were born with, or it's something that you learned to do?
When I think of it, I used to say I was born an artist, but when I think of it, I was not because I remember, I'll never forget. I knew very well that a star has five sides, like five pointy angles.
Yes.
But whenever I attempted, it's either 7 or 13 or
Yeah, yours is always.
yeah, it's always
Yeah,
having
yeah,
more than.
yeah.
So it means I was not really, I did not know how to do it from the onset. But now it's just that consistent practice every drawing every now and then with your pencils,
Doing it
maybe in
every
school.
day, doing something,
Yes.
something that line that would take you there.
So now when I think of it, I'll say I was not born. I was born with a passion, but I was not born with the art.
Okay, yes, yes,
So
yes,
I
yes.
loved the art, and that's what made me an artist. But it's not that I actually just woke up. I was like, hey, I can draw.
Wow, wow, wow. Now let's take it from the start. Like, where did you started and how did you grow up to this level that you are?
Well, I already said it indirectly in my previous
Okay.
dialogue, and it's that my mother was a teacher.
Yes,
She
yes.
drew for her kids, and also every kid watched cartoons back in the days. But
Sure.
I didn't just want to watch it and enjoy it. I wanted to know how to probably come up with my own someday.
Yeah, do your own
Yes.
thing also.
So with that dream, that's how I started make practicing. I took up pencils. I was trying, but I always failed. My mother would, I'll see my mother drawing and I'll try to copy her. Her orange will be looking like a circle, mine will be looking like an amoeba. So that's how it was. I started, but the thing now is that the fascination about the whole thing, like maybe today you draw it, maybe let's say yesterday I drew a star, it had 8 sides. Then today I draw it and it has 7 sides. I'm like, hey, this looks better than yesterday.
Yes, yes. There's a
So
difference. That's
you see that
admiration.
this is actually getting closer to what you actually want. So that
Yes.
encouragement, that motivates me, that motivated me to actually be like, okay, if I did this yesterday, it was like this. I did this today, it looked better. Maybe
It
tomorrow
means
you can,
tomorrow will definitely be
yes.
there.
So that's how I kept on doing it, kept on doing it. It was fascinating. I would sometimes show off to my friends in
Yes.
school, in the quarter and all that. My mother always encouraged me. She always be like, "Wow, you're doing
Very
this. Try this
important.
one someday." I always remember we usually have this thing where she always tell me that my last challenge at that level would have been for me to draw a perfect skeleton, and it was like tough as hell. Like I'll draw a human skeleton, and the person's upper body will be like twice the length of the lower body,
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah,
the
yeah,
lower body will
yeah.
be twice the length of the upper
Yes,
body.
yes.
So
Never,
it was
never, never. Oh
difficult,
my
but
God. Yeah.
at some point I caught it. Then I took up a
Tell me,
new
but,
challenge.
as we saw you did the portrait like you draw okwa, the
Yes,
famous Nigerian
yes.
series you draw. Such drawing, how long can it take you?
Uh, I would say it depends on the level of expertise. Like
Okay.
before, I knew for a drawing of an A4 size would take me like 1 week to complete. But
A4 size.
it's just A4. That's what I say. It
Net.
depends on the level of expertise. It would take me like 1 week to complete because maybe I'll start today or draw, I make a mistake, I have to erase out, draw. Or sometimes you're not just feeling inspired. Or sometimes
It's not just coming.
yes, or sometimes you're still trying to formulate the technique in your head, or you're still trying to derive the technique. You've never gotten a good grasp of it.
Yes.
So that was at that time. There were times where it take me like 1 week to complete. But now I remember perfectly that drawing of Ukwa took me one night.
One night.
Yes, I let's say I
That
went
is
for the
improvement.
yes. They made a call for extras on the cast of the Planters Plantation, and my friend just he hooked me up. He was like, "Hey, bro, this thing is happening tomorrow. Are you free? Let's go." I went there the next day. I went there the first day because it was actually I think it was 2 or 3 days. I can't remember the exact number, but it was one of those two. So I went there the first day. We did the whole acting, the whole scene we had to do.
Yes.
And at some point, now Ukwa came up, and I was like, "Wow, this!" Like, I heard that at that period, I heard there was a movie that brought him to Cameroon.
Yes.
I do not think that that was the one. At that time, I never really had much interest in film in acting.
Okay.
I just went there like, let me just try something new. Then I was like, oh, this is actually the movie that this guy was brought to Cameroon for. So I
I need to
left that
take it
night
serious.
inspired. I left that day inspired,
Okay.
and I was like, I cannot go back tomorrow and just
Be like
and not
that.
make use of this opportunity. Like the rare opportunity, not anybody gets to see
You
such
understand, right?
influential people.
Exploit the
And
opportunity.
also, this is somebody that he kept part of our childhood. He has a special place in part of our childhood because we always remember his movies, we watch and
Very
laugh for our
funny.
lungs out and
Yeah,
all
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So
It keeps
I
you.
was like, okay, let me do something for this guy. That night, I remember I spent the whole night. I was very wary the next day, though I'm somebody who always does my best to put in my best. So
Very
put in
important.
100% the next day. But the truth is, I did the drawing that night. Did not even get up to 3 hours of sleep. Woke up the next morning. I even woke up late, so I had to rush to Tico because I'm based here in Boya. So I had to rush to Tico to make sure that I catch up with them and not miss the scene.
Yes.
So that's how we did it. After the whole scene, we went to chill. I met the director, who is now my good friend, if I may say so. And I was like, I have a present for Ukwa, and I would really love if you could help me give him the opportunity
To
give me
hand
the,
it to
hand it to
him.
him because
Very
now
important.
those things you cannot just go directly to him. You have to.
Yeah, you
There's
need
a
to
protocol.
pass. You need to pass.
Yes.
He has bear that thing for long now. You cannot just come and just use
So
anyhow.
I told him,
Yeah.
then he was like, okay, just wait. When we're done, they were sharing words and all that. They now like give. I remember there was a friend of mine too who was there, cute as a yes. He was there too, and he also had a pencil drawing for him.
Okay. Wow.
He presented his, I presented mine, and he really Ukwa appreciated both of them.
Wow, 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 wow.
That's how my stardom came up.
I'm telling you, so now you are not a star. You get?
I will say so.
Yeah, yeah. Now the thing is that I can really see it used to take you like a week to do such, but now you took a night.
Yes.
Wow,
As I say, it depends on the level of expertise.
amazing. So if you want to sell such a drawing, let's say a client comes right, needs something like that. How much? What's your price now?
There's going to be a difference now between what you're saying. There's a difference between selling an art and doing an art for a client.
Okay.
Like if I'm doing an art for you, if I'm to draw you, that's you, and there's just you. That art will most likely be special. Will be most special to you. Now, if I'm to sell a drawing, that means it's something that I did and I engraved an idea into that art. Put
Yes.
an idea, I put part of myself to in it. So that time, yeah, it carries the whole concept. It
Yeah,
carries
yeah,
a lot.
you cut yourself, you put
Put
inside.
inside. You
Yeah.
mix and it is spaghetti.
Yes.
So
Okay.
putting that in now, if I were to sell an art, it'd be much more costly than doing an art for you, than drawing you.
Ah.
Yes. And now let's go now to the part of drawing you. That's portraits.
Yes.
Portraits in general, that's how we call it.
Okay.
If I were to do a portrait for a client, I presently do a size of 30 by 45. That's approximately A3. for 50,000.
Wow. Interesting. And if it's a your drawing that you're selling your
Now
art.
it depends on how much value I put into it. I consider that drawing to be how much valuable I consider the drawing to be.
Wow.
Some
Wow.
joints may be valuable, and I will say this one will be 150, this one will be 200, this one. I even do one. I have one which I've done. I've not yet posted. Nobody, or let's just say very few people know about it. Very few, and I have not even put a price tag on it yet. That's how valuable it is. There are some others that you can't put a price tag on it. It's just
And I know. Rather than selling it and let it
let
just
it
be
just
there.
be.
Let me be
There are
seeing
some
it.
others that you'll be like, than for somebody to come and buy it, you better give them for free. If you know that that person value the work you put in there, the story that that art carries.
Please give me. I'll value it, believe me.
You have to show me. That's the thing. You have to show me.
Yeah. No, no, I get you right. Now, during the whole process, especially as a beginner, what are some of the challenges you face and how did you overcome them?
Well, I'll say major thing. Let's say as an artist, as a pencil artist, I started with pencils before I moved on to pens. It was not difficult for me to get.
When you mean pen, do you mean a pen that we draw with in class?
Yes, but
That we
now,
write with in class?
yes, I can use that to draw, but now there's a little bit more to it because now sometimes I do color pen drawings, and those color pen drawings are not that common, and yes, they're not that common.
Oh,
So I use color pens to draw. So sometimes when I want to produce now colored artwork, yes, then
yes.
now there's a pencil. So starting off with pencils, let's just say it was not yes, the pencils that I used were not common. It's not the ordinary ones, but it's not like there's something superstitious about it. It's still a pencil, it's just that it
Just
has
like dedicated for art.
yes. It has like you see two pencils, they look exactly the same. Now for an artist, there are certain things that we'll look at, we know what is the difference between the two. Like
Tara.
even the ones that this one that we used to call TikTok pencil, the ones that had the back which you press.
Yes.
Little did I know that those pencils that we just playing around with anyhow as children actually had more value to me. Like now when I see those pencils, I'm just thinking of the type of art I can create with it. But back then
I'm
it was
thinking of
just
the kind
nyanga.
of things I can write with it.
Ah,
Yeah, I
but
get
back then it
you.
was just nyanga. It was just that hey, I have a pencil
Yes.
that when you
Ah,
press it like that,
when
it
it
comes
comes
out.
out. You're right, you're
Yeah.
right.
Where was I?
Yes,
Yes, the type
like
of pencil.
pencil,
So
yes.
starting off, they were not common, but it was acquirable.
If you
You
have the
get it?
means, you could get
Yes. So
definitely.
and I did have the means, so I got one for myself. I think I bought that one just 2,500 francs.
Wow. Back then, 2005 to buy a pencil. Man, do you know how many pens I can buy? How many box of pens I can buy?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I sacrificed for the art. That time I was not even making any money. I just had to save up. You save 200 from here, 300 from there.
So you
Boom,
get there, you buy a pencil.
buy pencils, buy
Invest in your tools. Very important.
so bought other things like a mechanical pencil. That's the one now that we call the TikTok pencils. They're actually called mechanical pencils. So it has its two different grades. There's the 0.5 and the 0.7.
We'll not
Which
go deep in that one.
if I had to go deep now, you may not understand.
Yes.
So let's just leave it at that. So there are two grades. I got those. An eraser. I just got the common eraser. Do that other type of artist erasers out there. I got the common ones and papers.
Okay. What type of paper do you draw on?
At
Is
first, I
it
was just using
normal?
normal typing sheets, the ones that are printed on. But as time went on, I started getting cardboard papers, which are harder. And
Yes.
there's a specific type that I always go to get. Now, the person whom I've seen selling that in Boya sells at Clark's Quarters. I don't know the name of the documentation, but there's a place there which I always buy from.
Wow. Wow.
Because the other ones, they're not really up to the standard I want.
That I
Get
want
just
for your
what they
drawing.
Yes.
And your drawings must be expensive. Because just the way you are like specific about the materials you need to use and where you get it, like only one person where is selling it, and your drawing must be top
Yeah.
notch.
So carrying on with the challenges. So like I said, the materials were not that difficult for me to get.
Okay.
Then the next thing was just that we the society people do not in Cameroon we don't really at that time there's at least more respect for arts now. Back then not many people respected it.
I remember, it's like when I used to see this, I'm like, how can people be buying drawings to put in their house? I don't even understand.
So
Yes.
then again, I was not at that level where I could make people see why art is valuable. At least now I can. When I post my work, I don't even have to tell you that it's valuable. When you see it, you just appreciate quality if you have the eye for good things.
Yes, yes, definitely. And
That
also, your network growing also, it makes the
exactly.
work way more
Yes,
valuable.
exactly. So it was not the major problem then was just to show people that this is actually something that you can make
Valuable.
a living out of. You can actually follow it as a career, not just a hobby. Because many
Yes.
people draw just. I've seen good artists. I've had a lot of people come to me that I want you to mentor me and make me better in this thing, and I'll be like, okay, let me see your work. They'll show me wonderful things. People
Yeah,
show me
like
wonderful things, but now they said it was just a hobby for them. I was like, if only you know, like those people were so self-taught. I won't really say I was. In fact, I cannot say I was self-taught. But those people now, they most of them told me that they never had anybody. They were just it's just something that at
doing
some point they
it,
just
then
did
yeah.
it and it came out. I'm like, if I was at your level when I started, where I would have been now, oh Lord.
Forget it.
Oh Lord.
Forget it.
They don't even know. They don't
Yeah.
even know.
But the good thing is there's no regret. It's never too late
Yeah, yeah,
to
yeah.
start.
It's never too late. Have
So let's talk about your core institution now. Tell us how is life now in the arts world? Can you say you make money? Can you say you make a living that you can pay your bills and take care of your account, whatsoever, food, accommodation
for now, I cannot say I completely sustain myself.
with
I
arts
do sustain myself, but I cannot completely sustain myself
to
with art.
maintain your standard of living?
Yes, art. However, it's just because I haven't attained the that level yet. Just put it that way. That means there's actually a promising future for it. I
Definitely,
can clearly see it. But
definitely.
you know you don't just wake up one day and just become like that. You have to put in the
No.
work, which is what I'm still doing right now.
So what are some of this milestone that you think when you achieve it, you can be there? What are some of the things you need to deal with?
Mm, milestones. Let's just say I for now I can say I'm already there. It's just that I have to grow.
Okay, okay, you just have to improve.
Yes, I just have to improve. Like I said, I can already sustain myself, but not complete.
Not
So I
completely.
just have to increase my value, my branding, and so on. So
Like
it means I'm
be
already
more
there.
out there,
You get
people need to know about you, know your
yes,
work,
market myself more and
market
all that,
yourself.
and which is what I'm really working on. I'm on all platforms, and I'm always trying every now and then to create content
Very
to
important.
post out there, and at least the media has been very receptive of my work. It's
Yeah,
really
very,
encouraging.
very,
Like when I
very, very.
post, at least I get people saying that, "Wow, how do you do this, bro? Like this is amazing." And some people sometimes contact me and be like, I want an art for myself. I get every now and then a few international deals from people
Wow.
abroad. They tell me that I want mine too, and we sort out a way in which I'll send it to them.
No problem. Just do it first. To send it will
Yes,
not be a problem.
exactly.
And as we're talking about social media being a place to expose, the reason why we also have you here because through social media we saw your
Exactly.
work. I will go into and we said no, let's have you come and share. And today we are on Awejan.
Awejan.
Thank you, thank you. You can say it again.
I see the name.
Yeah, yeah. So let's talk about in the same line of my so while. What are the next plan? 3, 5 years, 5 years ago. Where do you see yourself?
Uh, I want to have a better workspace. That's the first thing for every artist. Like, you want a space away from your comfort zone. For now, my space is in my room. My comfort, which is everybody's comfort zone, is the room. When you
Yeah,
are there, you
you do
can do
it as
whatever you
you
want.
anyhow. Nobody is disturbing you
So I want a separate space from my comfort zone. That's like
like an office space.
yes, an office
Yeah.
space, a room where once I enter there, I know that here I'm here to work.
Year for business.
I'm here for business.
Yes.
I want a space of my own. I want to get more. I want to increase my network,
Yeah.
collaborate with more people, and like I said, I'm already there. So like I already have the people. I'm
You keep growing,
working on
keep
the projects,
increasing.
I'm working on projects that I can call people in, or they call me in their own projects, and I help realize the vision.
Yes.
Then also increasing the network, because
Yes.
now I know that definitely this is not just where I want to end. So I
No, no,
still
no,
have
no.
to get bigger guns. I have big guns, but I need to get bigger guns
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
keep
yeah.
on improving on the whole
When
thing.
they show you going, show a bigger one. You don't run.
Exactly.
You then
Exactly.
and
So
face it.
get bigger guns. Let's say start getting grants, start getting international calls. Uh, there's a lot. There's a lot.
Now, do you
Start selling my work too.
very, very important. I was like about asking like, do you usually search for this international event for art, exposing,
Yes, definitely.
meetup kind of stuff?
Mhm. Go on
Yeah.
social media, you always see every now and then. It's just being able to differentiate the scams from the real ones, but there are a lot of opportunities out there, and
Yes.
definitely I always apply for them every now and then, because that
You're
it's
not
not all the
gotten that
time
right
I've
one, yes.
gotten called. They just say
Yes.
I'm not at the level they want me to be, so they just tell me that sorry, we couldn't work with you, but we're looking forward in the future that maybe when we are in need of your services, also so and
Yes,
so,
yes.
they'll be like, okay, now we'll contact you.
Okay. One question. Your art.
Yes, sir.
Why did you choose to do art and make
Passion,
a living?
passion, passion,
Passion.
love. It's my safe space. It's my therapy. It's that one place where I can be myself and not feel like anybody is going to make me feel less of a human or less of myself. That's it. It's also something that I've seen that okay, there's actually a future in it. Because for everything I do, I always ask myself, what I'm doing now, in the next 5 years, is there a possibility that I can hit my legs on the floor and say, I actually this actually got me there.
Yes, yes, you
And
have
obviously
some.
you have to do the research. You have to check whether there are other people who have done it before, and so on and so on. You look at your community, you look at you try to
Very
speculate on what the future will look like, how
look like
receptive the future will be of that,
yes.
and all that. Then you be like, okay, I can do this. So that's how I actually got it. It's like I said, it's my therapy.
And I say you can do it. Thank you. We are getting there, man.
Exactly.
We are getting there, man. Now, what we needed from you now after we got stuff from you? We wanted to give us a roadmap. Okay. We have youth out there that definitely they're interested in art. They want to do it, but they don't know how to go about it or where to start. Like so someone like me, I can tell you I'm horrible in drawing. I don't even know any like anything that has to do with my hand to draw it. No, 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 no. But we have people like me out there that want to go into art. Please, what do they need? How should they go about it? What are the different things they need to do to get there to also become an artist, just like you, or better?
Okay. The first thing I like to do is that I'll first look at the camera,
Thank you.
and I'll look into the camera and say, you who is watching me right now, if you can hold a pencil, you can draw. If you're passionate about art and you're like, how do I start? The first thing that my teacher will always tell me is that if you can hold a pencil, you can draw. Okay. Now, next thing
Yes.
is now the passion, the consistency. If you're passionate about something, you should be consistent in it. I'm passionate about content creation, and despite the setbacks I've had, my phones were
Yes.
stolen at like last month. I know
Oops.
that I had some setbacks, but
Sorry about that.
immediately, yeah, thank you. Immediately, I got a new one. I started like gradually
Back. No
standing back on
time.
my feet. I'm posting a
Yes.
video every now and then to just make sure that like this is something I've already seen the future, and I already have the know-how on how to get there. It's just to now keep consistent till the
Over
brands
and
start
over.
recognizing you, and I've actually started getting some recognition. I have some brands that I'm working with on promotion, which I'm looking forward to doing a great job for them.
Wow.
That's in content creation. But as an
Yes.
artist, yeah, like I said, you just have to be consistent. Put in your mind that challenges will come, but these challenges now are preparing you for the future.
Yes.
It's not
Definitely.
just challenges that will stop you, but it's a challenge that is preparing you for the future.
Of
Yeah,
uplift you
exactly.
where you're going
It's
to.
like a stepping stone. It's not actually a pullback factor.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So
the,
what are some of the things? What will you say? Can they contact you? Can you out there contact you to
yes,
work to work?
yes,
Work,
I was
work?
still getting there.
Okay.
So that was just number two.
Okay. Sorry
So
about
number two was a consistency factor.
yes.
Number three now is if you want to be an artist, you need somebody to encourage you. You need somebody to guide you,
Okay.
which now comes to the part of a mentor.
Yes.
So if I as an artist, when I got to a certain level, I was like, okay, I actually had people coaching me back then, they were giving me a few tips, but now I came and met a particular person, Tiafa Mtonka, who guided me and now like restructured the way I think as an artist and the way I hold my pencil, the way I do everything, the techniques, develop all the techniques.
Things you do to get into the motion of drawing,
Yes.
how to prepare yourself before you start.
All of that. So he is the one. So that's a mentor factor. You need there are three things. There's a mentor, a role model, and an icon.
Okay. Mentor, role model, and an icon.
These
Okay.
things may sound the same, but they are totally different.
Tell us more about
Okay, so there's a mentor. The mentor now is somebody whom you can easily approach, you can easily reach out to. Like, do have in mind that these three things can still be in one person,
yes.
or two of them can still be in one person, or just
Okay.
one. There's a mentor. That's somebody whom you can easily reach out to in the case when you need guidance.
Okay.
There's a role model. It's so sad that I forgot how to explain the role model part. But there's a role model. Like, okay, this is a person who has a character of the type of person you want to be in that field, if I may put it that way.
Okay.
Like role, like the role of that person.
Okay, you would like to sit in that person.
Yes, like that. You can see 5 artists, but there'll be one that will have a certain character trait that you might not like. There'll be another one that will have that you completely dislike,
Yeah.
and there's one that you really hate, like the one that if you see you respect the fact that the person is an artist, but you see him, you want to punch him.
Yeah, you are
You
not
want to
there.
beat and kill him.
Yeah.
Yes. Then now there'll be the person that will have traits that be like, okay, I like this man's charisma. I like the way he talks. I like the way he moves. I like the similar now one who may have better business mind. So now you have to look for that role model, the person who actually acts the way you want to act.
Yeah.
Now
The
follow
way
that
you
person.
see yourself.
Yes. Okay. And now an icon now is the person who is already where you want to be.
Where you look up to.
Yes.
I want to get there.
Yes. So
Okay.
you need to have an icon. That's a person who is already where you want to be. And now you use that person's work now as motivation and still guidance. The only difference now is, like I said, these three things can be, if you're fortunate, you can have these 3 things in one person. You can have the person who you can easily reach out to, who acts the way you want the person, the way you want to act to in the future, and who is already where you want to be. If you're fortunate, you can have those 3 things in one person. If you don't, then now you can now start looking for ways to diversify. You start getting like, okay, this is the person that I can easily reach out to, and I'll be like, this is my mentor, this is my role model, this is the person who has the character which I want to have when I get to that level, or the business mind or whatever. Then this is now the person who is already there, and I want to be like that person. You can have those 3 things, and boom, you're good to go.
Okay, okay. Right. And at times it's difficult to find.
It's difficult to find. That's why I said that's why I said 3. If you cannot get all the 3 in one, which is very difficult to get,
Difficult.
get
Yes.
either the 3 different people. Now, do know that these 3 different people, the only one person that may be stressful to find is the mentor. The person whom I can easily, let me say you're my mentor.
Okay,
now,
okay, yeah, that can easily get
Flexify.
in contact. So,
Like, I want to build a brand as big as Flexify,
yeah.
as a vision you guys have here.
Yes.
Obviously, okay, let's say we've connected now on this platform, and maybe tomorrow I want to do something like you do. I know that, okay, now I can easily reach out to you for guidance. You're my
Yes.
mentor.
Okay,
But
okay, yes, yes.
let's just say maybe you do not have that character I want.
that you perceive
Yes.
you want to.
Yes. Or maybe you may have it, but it's not really there. And I see somebody else out there who has it. I don't have to be in contact with that person.
No,
If
no.
I can, good and
Fine.
fine. But I don't have to
not
be
a
in
must.
contact with that person.
Okay.
So now that's where social media comes in. You can follow the person
Follow up
online
the person.
and see how the person interacts. Definitely, maybe the person posts his or her lifestyle. Maybe you
Person's
post
doing
the business,
activity, yes.
the daily activities the person does, and all that. You follow that. Then there's still the icon, which is still on social media again. The person is already doing what you want up there,
Yes.
and you're like, okay, this is what I want to be.
Okay.
This is where I want to be. So the only one that you can stress about is the mentor.
The
The
mentor
rest,
part,
you can still
yeah.
find a particular role model. I see you one day and I'm like, okay, I want to be like you. But now I see somebody who is, let's say better than, who is better.
We go
Be
this
like,
way.
okay, this is the person I want. And now another day you may still see. It's always good to stick to one, but it's understandable to change
Just
a
change,
bit
yeah, yeah, to
because nobody is
modify.
perfect.
Yeah, no,
So
this one
some
is better. I
yeah,
want
so
it to be like
somebody
this.
maybe you can meet another person who has built his or herself compared to the previous person you were following or working with, and that's how you do it. And the last thing about getting being an artist is now the mindset.
It's very important.
Those are the four things I can think of today. Mindset. The mindset is that I've met an artist. I don't want to call his name, but if he ever sees this someday, he know I'm talking about him. And a really good artist. Like he was that type of artist who, when I see his work, I'm like, I feel like this guy can even draw better than me. But he was begging me that I should coach him. I should teach him how to be an artist like me. I'm like, what artist do you want me to teach? Like, teach you to be like. You're already like me. I'm even looking at you as if
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
more than
you're
me, and
scared of what they can do.
you're telling me that I should teach you to be like me. I still
Yes.
took him, and now every day my challenge was not teaching him how to be an artist. My challenge was teaching him self confidence. Like believe in yourself. That guy
No, you can do it.
he made a great drawing of Kosi, and I was like, what? He showed me that drawing, and I'm like, you did this yourself. Are you sure? Like the guy draws over, and the thing so is, I actually saw part of my technique in the way he drew. So he was almost drawing like me. So like, you drew this on your own, and you're begging me that. What do you want me to teach you again? I don't know what I can teach you. Like I'm looking at your art, and I can hardly pinpoint out errors that really stand out. Errors that will be like, go and work on this. The errors that I could just pinpoint were the ones where it just needs consistent work. Like you already know what you're doing, man.
Yeah, you just
You
need
just
to
need
do
the
it over
practice
and
to
over.
get your hands stronger at it. So there was that guy, and the thing that was just his mindset. He was already good enough that I was looking at him and I was like, if you can draw this good, you should be charging as the same way I do. The only thing that may make it not to be able to charge as me is because I
The
already
network.
have I've already set my value out there. People already know about me. I already have
You always set your
community.
environment, your
The people
community, yes.
support me and people respect what I already do. But him now, he
Definitely.
still had to grow. He did not have that many people who
And I
already
think
knew what
that
he
that's
did.
exactly what he wanted, but he never knew how to. Say
Yeah.
like he doesn't really know that that's what he wants because
Yes,
that's
but
what
that's
he
what he
needs.
wants. Then he was now like, no, I want you to teach me how to draw. So it's
Yeah,
now the
yeah,
mindset. That's the last thing
mindset.
you need to have that mindset. You need to be like, okay, like have a growth mindset. There's a fixed mindset and there's a growth mindset. So have a growth mindset. Don't have that fixed mindset.
Be flexible, open
Yes, be
for growth.
flexible, open minded, try new things. I never, at one point, I was never a fan of the collage I told you about of gluing things on paper. But at
Yes.
some point, I wanted to create an art, and I was like, the way I see this art, I cannot fully realize it if I don't do a collage on it. And when I
Yes.
did that collage on it, I no, it's not post. I looked at it and I was like, this is it.
Yes. What I will.
This is what
Is
I'm.
what I
And now
will do.
imagine I wanted to be like fix mindset. No, I'm really a pencil artist. I'm really a pen artist. I don't need
And
collage. I would have not. Maybe at some point I would have just been feeling like this art is still lacking something. But I would have never had that open mind to be like this is actually what it needs.
yes, yes,
So it's the open mind, the mindset. You need to have that mindset, not just as an artist, but if you want to grow, if you want to make it a living, you also need to have some of that business mindset. Read books,
very important.
follow a
Very
podcast,
important.
watch videos on YouTube, watch other platforms,
Learn.
attend seminars, network, attend events, get in
Yes.
contact with those big guns I earlier spoke of. So they will also those people are very good push factor. I have people that some big guns that each time I meet them, they respect the gift to me. I'm like, this guy says something in me that I don't yet see myself. And that's like, okay, if this guy is saying something in me and he respects what I do, it means that he knows that I can get somewhere. And let me continue this journey and see where it'll get me.
Should I know there's something more, just that you're not seeing. You just
Yes.
have to keep doing it because they have been there that have gone further so they can see what something coming that they can perceive it
Yeah.
more than we can do. No, it's true. So tell us, is it possible to get to you? Like, do you have a training? Do you have a training program? Do you have some? This is someone that wants to get trained. Do you offer training?
I do offer training. I offer personal training and I also work with a group of persons who whom we train artists together. So there's a Tiafa Coaches Art program that we have. It's actually free.
Oh,
All we need, it's free, but now there's still something we need from you. It's not money, it's determination. Like we create the group, but before you even get there, We have to give you a series of tests. We have to see how passionate you are about it.
It's not how good you are, it's how passionate you are.
It's how passionate you are and how submissive or humble you
Humble.
are. Because we will not want somebody where we
I
say draw your
know.
line and go to the right and you're still going to the left. We don't want this
Yes,
kind of
I know.
person.
I know it
It's like
already.
when you say you already know it, then you should be better than us. Why are you coming to us? So we now have those series of evaluations which we give you before we be
Okay.
like, okay, we can work with you. So
Wow.
there's that one. Then there are now people who come to me personally and say, I want you to coach me, but like I still do similar thing to what I do, what we do in the TFA coaches art. I still have to give you those evaluations
You have to
to
check.
see like, okay, is this person actually passionate about this? Like I understand that let's say all of us have our individual life with our own challenges. So I know that sometimes you may fall back, but I have people whom like I have students whom they're like I know that okay maybe he will stop drawing for a couple of weeks or maybe a month or two, but at some point I have students whom they'll stop for a while, but they'll still come and text me and they'll see my work and they'll be like, boss, I really appreciate your work. I'm really fascinated by everything I see you do, and I'm very sorry that I've not shown you anything in a while. It's just that I'm facing so and so, I'm facing this or
Difficult to
that,
meet up.
so that
Excuses. They
I'm
always have
from
excuses. I
no, they have excuses, but it's understandable that sometimes those things actually have a long way to go. Like let's just say you have an
true.
exam, you're going to school.
Yeah.
You will not have an exam and you want to be drawing during that period of the exam unless the drawing will help you pass. If the drawing helps you pass, good and fine. But if it doesn't, you have to choose one. You have to
No,
prioritize for the time.
but I think life is all about programming. Just arrange the timing, because the truth is that our younger ones have lot of excuses. There's
That's true.
always a reason. After exam, it will be family, it's mom, it's auntie, it's holidays, it's job. They always
Yeah,
have
that's the
excuses.
one now where I sit them down and I tell them that you have to make a choice. I've had to make some hard life choices that
Yes,
I still see its consequences, but I also see its result. And I'll say that there are the negative consequences and there are the positive result. So
true.
there's some hard decisions I've taken in my life just because I wanted to pursue the,
The career
the
path.
career path of an artist.
Okay.
And I regret some of those decisions, but at the same time, I don't. I appreciate myself for actually taking that bold
For
step.
standing on something,
Yes,
going like sacrifice something for something bigger.
yes, exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's those things. I sit them down and I tell you, okay, for my evaluation, I'm almost like a counselor, I'm almost like a therapist to
When you
some
start getting
people.
that level, you
Yes.
don't see it
So
just come.
when you explain your problem to me, I now sit and tell you, like for my evaluation, this is where I think you are, and these are the choices you have now. I'll give you like three choices. I'll maybe give you a fourth that is almost impossible because there's always a choice, but it's very impossible. And there's one that is really impossible, and maybe I'll never advise you, but there are always options. Like
Definitely, very
you can be
important.
depressed. One choice would be that you go to therapy. Another choice would be that you lock yourself up in your room until you're feeling better. Another one, the last one may be suicide. Suicide is a very difficult option, but it's still an option. Now I'll just tell you that these are your options. I'm not saying that I tell them that there's suicide. Please don't get that wrong. I'm not saying that there's suicide, but
If I
now,
was already thinking about it,
no.
like, okay,
So I give you those options. I tell you even the ones that are impossible. I tell you that
yeah,
it's still an option. You may want to do it
yes,
if you have the conviction. Now, it may still be, I can tell that, okay, the choice now may not be that negative. It may be positive, but it's just that what it will take from you. Like, you even probably take part of your life force or something. I'll tell you that, okay, like, if you want to be an artist, if you really want to follow your passion and you don't have money, I'll tell you that, okay, pack your bags, start trekking to Nigeria. Like, all those choices is there. I'll tell you that this is still an option. But do you have that conviction? So, anyway, back to the focus. I'll give
okay,
you two, three, four options that you can follow. I'll be like, okay, number one, you have to choose. If you have your money, leave your parents' house if they're disturbing you for art. Number two, if you don't have your money, sit there on one time, hide and draw. That's what I did. There are times I draw in their
yeah,
presence. Then when they don't want me to draw, but I still feel like this at this time I should be drawing. I
God,
go and sit inside my room. I'm there doing something, maybe under the blanket or in the dark or with just my phone outside. They don't know in the night.
Yes, yes,
That
yes. In
that
the
is
night,
the
they want
sense
you to
then.
sleep,
Yeah.
but you
So
know there's
you,
something
you cannot
itching you
put on your
inside.
light because people will see maybe when they
Yeah,
pass by the corridor, they'll see your
they'll see
lights there.
light under. Yeah,
So you have to now take by your torch, put it at one angle where you not reflect towards the door, and you're now drawing. So there are always those options. So tell you that okay, this is the other one you can do, or this is that, and I tell you that these is the ones which I think are best for you, or this is the one. It may just be one or two. I'll tell you this is the one or ones which I think are best for you, and I'll tell you that now you as a person, I'm
yeah.
not living your life.
You
I'm
have
not
to make
living
a
your
choice
life.
because
So
you will want to face the consequences
yes,
on
you'll be
your
the one
own.
to face the consequences, and maybe and the ones which I'll choose for you are the ones which I am choosing from my perspective of your life. It's not like it's what your life is. So I'll
Yes,
tell you that
sure.
this is my perspective of your life, and this is the one which I think you should choose. But you will now have your own. You have to evaluate your life. You have to look at all the options I've given you. Maybe you even come up with new ones. And be like, okay, this is what I should actually do now.
Okay, I get you. Interesting. Now, the thing is that for our audience to be better understand, when talking about addiction or suicide kind of stuff, it's not like physical suicide. No, it's just that there are some things that must come at a greater cost. You must lose something valuable, dear to you, to
Sacrifice.
have something ten times better in the long run,
Yes.
not like now.
Yes.
All right. So, sir, we are gradually coming to the end of our session.
It was another great one.
Yeah, yeah. But before we go, please, one word for the audience, for the youth out there that are looking up to you.
One word for the audience. I already said it. Consistency is key. Your your willpower should be stronger than your fears. I'll just give you those two. Consistency is key, and your willpower should be stronger than your fears.
Yes, sir. You heard him said. For me, I would say I would look at it in the form of courage when talking about fear, because at times we think that courage is lack of fear, but no, courage is you being realizing that you have fear and facing your fears without hesitating. That is courage. So don't think that is when you will not be afraid, it means you are courageous. No, you are afraid, you are scared, but you still do it. That is you being courageous. And as I said, please, consistency, because artwork is something that takes time. You don't just get up one morning and just do you have to do it over time. Like he said, he used to take like a week to do a drawing. Imagine yourself taking a week to do a drawing. I don't know if I can do it. But I think if I'm in the position and I make it something I want to do, I'll have no choice. I must do it.
Yeah, and if I can add,
Yes.
like art is a skill, and a skill is like a muscle. So if you go to the gym every day, you work out. Obviously, you start looking better.
What are you
And
saying?
now, if you stay for some time without going to the gym, you already know.
Mhm.
Like it may not go, you may not revert back to the ground level which you are at in the
But
beginning,
you
but
take
you
away.
depreciate, you go down,
Yes, you
which
depreciate
means
in a way.
after some time you have to start building back to get back to that point where you were at before you
Before you
start
start
getting
growing. Yeah.
better. So that's the whole idea of consistency. It's a muscle, so you have to keep continuously
You
building
just
it.
have to keep building. You just have to keep doing it because you don't have a choice. You want to maintain, you want to become better. You just have to keep doing it every day, every day. Don't stop. So, guys, this is something that can all start. You can start from nothing, right?
Yes.
And most importantly, there is a training program for you, free, which all they require of you is your dedication, your consistency, your desire to make it. I believe so.
Yes.
So there's a training program for you. The things you need to start is available because you must not start with those high pencils. Take our normal pencil now.
I started from normal pencils. I did not
Uh-uh.
even just buy that one and start there. I started from normal
So,
pencils.
so this is actually a business line that you can follow from nothing. Now, if you found this content interesting, please tell us your mind and in the comments section below. And if you have a particular question for us, you can ask in the comment section or you can get to us in our inbox. And if you want to get to Dior Artz, how did you do, sir?
If you ever want to get to me for business or still mentorship or anything, you need guidance on something, I'm present on all platforms as Dior Artz, DIOR ARTZ On the platforms with usernames, you have an underscore between Dior and Art. So DIOR underscore ARTZ, or just search Dior Moscow, but I'll prefer you use Dior Artz. The Dior Moscow is a popular name, so you see it, you
Lot
may
of
not
Moscows, yeah.
easily identify my page, but if you
Yes.
say Dior Arts
You'll
everywhere,
get it.
as long as you put that Z at the end, Arts ARTZ,
Yes,
you
yes.
see my profile. You definitely see me.
So
On all platforms, Instagram. Oh, sorry for cutting.
no, it's okay.
Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Threads, Twitter, LinkedIn,
Wow.
and I think that's it. Other Pinterest, even Pinterest. I hardly post my work there, but I'm present on the platforms. I use it for inspiration, and even as away from art as a model and every other thing I do, I'm also a
Yes.
dancer and much more. So
Yes.
on other on away from arts, you can find me on any platform as one big deal.
One big deal.
Yes, one, but you spell it. You spell everything. One
Yes.
big deal.
Deal. Oh,
Every
yeah,
platform,
yeah.
just search that and you definitely see me.
He's definitely
stress.
a one big guy. All right. As I said, stay tuned. We'll be back with more interesting content and business opportunities for you.